again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion?
Hello.
How was your...
So thank you so much. I'm so glad. Thank God it's Friday. And of course, you tune to Unity 93.3 FM from the city of Jos, to be precise, from the hills of ZINARIYA, Plateau State, Nigeria, the home of peace and tourism. Beatrice Ademoyeji remains my name, your anchor on Unity Trend. The same we will have it today. You know I don't do this alone, but before I get to introduce the very man who is in the studio this morning for the review segment of Unity Trend, I would love to say thank God it's Friday, and this is the very last edition of Unity Trend for this very week. And today, being Friday, is the 8th day in the month of December 2023. If you're watching us from faraway Plateau State, it's good to have you. When the time comes, we'll get to hear from you. Okay, and those of you who are listening from our radio, we're so happy that you tuned to our Unity 93.3 FM. We give you a phone number later on to call and be a part of the conversations. But for now, let's begin the first segment as it is that we are used to doing. It's newspaper review segment. And in the studio is Professor Proveno H. Bamoyi, the very man who believes in the greatness of Nigeria. Even if everyone else is not proud of Nigeria, he remains so proud. He will be saying a very big good morning to you, our viewer and our listener.
Wow. Good morning, Kulbi.
Good morning,
it's a
sir.
Beautiful Friday morning.
Yes, it is.
Good morning, viewers and listeners, wherever you're joining us from around the world. It's a beautiful morning from the hills of ZINARIYA, Jos City, Plateau State, Nigeria. This is a beautiful Friday. It promises to be a wonderful time. Remain tuned to 93.3 FM radio and Unity TV as we cruise on in this Unity train that will be taking us to a fantastic destination. Good morning.
Yes, of course, in Nigeria, the story has been on and on and on. Every day comes with lots of issues. But before we dive into what we have trending on our national daily this morning, it's good to let you know again that you should make deliberate efforts to have peace within. It is only when you have that you'll be able to give. You don't give what you don't have. And so, talking about the need for us to live in peaceful coexistence, it therefore means that you should have some peace inside of you so that you can, translate same. Thank you so much for being there. Lot of protests.
Yeah.
Lots of protests.
It's a season of protests.
Season of protest. And I feel it's not bad to protest.
No, as long as it's peaceful.
As long as it's peaceful.
And more protests will be coming.
More protests will continue.
Hopefully peaceful protests.
Peaceful protests. And in the efforts to have protest, of course, we should always get to know that it is not just one thing we do all alone. We involve the police.
Yes.
So as they help us on how to, have it, peaceful.
Yes, to avoid the intrusion of these hooligans, hoodlums, people with a different agenda from that of the protesters. They infiltrate the crowd, and then they begin to steal, to loot, to cause mayhem, crises, violence of all kinds, because these are opportunists. They're just looking for an opportunity to unleash violence, in the society. That's why we need the police. When you're going to have a peaceful protest, involve the police so that the police can ensure that these hoodlums, these undesirable elements don't enter among the protesters.
And again, the police are the rightful people. They get to know which of the streets, is prone to any violence anytime. And so they would even give you advice.
Absolutely.
If you must protest,
they know
the police will advise you. And even the period of the day that, you can manage to get away not having any conflict, violent conflicts springing up. And so we need the police anytime.
We need them
we want to go and protest. Thank you so much. And today We begin with this one that says a protest in Latvia over kidnap of Federal University students.
Yes.
This kidnap issue.
I don't know what we are going to do about kidnappings across
and
the
Prof,
country.
I feel this is one thing that will make me start thinking for you if you should leave Nigeria.
Well, that's a good thought. Thank you for that.
You're welcome, Prof.
I'm very security conscious.
Amen.
And every Nigerian
should
be security conscious. There are many things you can do to be security conscious. So the students of the Federal University Latvia had a protest yesterday because Wednesday night at about 11 p.m. and beyond, students of the Federal University of Latvia who stay at a student lodge in the Gwandu community in Latvia were kidnapped, at least 7 of them. As I'm talking right now, we don't even know the exact number, but as of yesterday, when the protests were to commence, at least 7 of them have been confirmed to have been kidnapped. But the kidnappings took place in different locations within that Gwandu community. And so the students could not stand it. You know? So the students had to come out en masse to protest. An interesting thing is that even one of the community leaders in Gwandu joined the students in that protest, because the kidnappers do not only kidnap students, they also kidnap members of the community. So some members of the community joined the students in the protest. Now, because it's a massive crowd of students protesting against this incessant kidnapping of their compatriots and colleagues, the police had to come in and they had to try to disperse them using tear gas. Now, this is where maybe sometimes I have a problem with our security forces. You don't just go and begin to just use tear gas to disperse students who are protesting, as long as they're peaceful. There is what is called alternative dispute resolution. You can talk with these students. You can calm them down. I mean, some police officers and military personnel have done it in the past. You just talk with them because they are angry. Emotions are high. You know, there is this outrage. Why are they kidnapping us persistently? Why are they always targeting students? Because one of the things the students were saying is that our parents are tired of paying ransom. For how long would they be paying ransom?
It simply means, Prof, that this is a lot have been going on untold.
Absolutely.
But this is just, one which is, is being captured on the headline.
Absolutely. In fact, within the last 6 to 10 months or thereabout, we've had more than 5 of these incidents of kidnapping of students of Federal University of Latvia. So the students are saying our parents cannot be paying ransom over and over and over and over again. I mean, we are talking about increase in school fees across the country. The same parents who have to pay 150,000 naira or thereabout as school fees will have to raise 1 million as ransom, and will have to raise another 500,000, raise another 1 million, again and again and again and again. For how long will this cycle continue? So something concrete will need to be done. It is high time that these students should even be kept within the university. Why should they be off campus? They're off campus because they don't have enough hostel facilities. And this is what we're talking about. The government keeps establishing new universities. As I'm talking to you now, the government, there are bills in the National Assembly for about 32 additional universities to be established. But the government is not funding the current universities we have. And they want to establish more. Why don't we have hostels in these universities? These are federal universities that are supposed to be funded by the federal government. In our time, when we were undergraduates, most of us were on campus in the hostels. If you keep students within the 4 walls of the university, it is easier to strategize security for them.
Yes.
But when they're scattered around the town and the city in different locations, 10 of them are here, 50 are there, 100 are there, 200 are there, it's very difficult to ensure their security. And this is what happened in Lafia. These students are scattered in different locations. So the kidnappers target these students because they feel that these are soft targets, and they'll be able to get money because no parent will want to see their children suffering. And so they keep attacking these students over and over again. I think it's high time the university authorities wake up. The federal government should wake up. Our security forces should also wake up. I know that in some places they're doing fantastically well, but in this particular location, Federal University, Lafia, I think the security forces will need to wake up. They need to up their game. They need to strategize how to secure the community in Gwandu and secure students of the Federal University, Lafia.
And again, Prof, that students are being kidnapped. I've never seen a situation where our executive will, just retire, just resign, just because of all these things. I don't think, in some other climes, of course, with such, you would find people just resigning because they feel they're not competent, they feel disappointed in themselves.
In fact, let me tell you, by now we should have been having series of resignations. This should have been a season of resignations. The Chief of Army Staff should have resigned for what happened at TUNTBE.
Yes.
The Chief of Defense Staff should have resigned. The Brigade Commander, GOC, number 1 division of the Nigerian Army, Kaduna, should have resigned. We should have seen series of resignations. Commissioner of Police should have resigned. But what are we talking about? They are not resigning. This is Nigeria, where people want to sit on their seats.
And again, talking about human rights, is there any petition? Is there any court case? Is there anything? Or do we just come on air like this and talk? Who should do something? I think also Nigerians, is there anything we should do apart from also talking is one, like we're discussing, we're reviewing and talking about it on and on, giving a platform to every common Nigeria to also air his or her views as regards these issues?
Absolutely.
What again should we do that is enshrined in our constitution?
In our constitution, thank you for raising that matter. Many of us don't know our rights under the constitution. I'm holding a handphone here. It has the constitution of Nigeria.
Unlike before, that it's a hard copy.
How many of us have downloaded it? Have you downloaded one to your phone?
I did my best, not gone through it yet.
This is the constitution.
Yes.
And there is a section in the constitution that guarantees our fundamental human rights that tell us so many things that we can do, including even recalling our political representatives, National Assembly, State Assembly, and all the rest of them. These students, their protesting is fantastic, it's good. They can demand the resignation of the DPO in charge of that division. They can go to court and demand that whoever is in charge of the security apparatus there should be dealt with. It is their right. They can hire a lawyer and go to court and say these people are not doing their work the way they're supposed to, and this is the evidence. A student was kidnapped one time, another said 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cases. Then what is happening? Why is the man still sitting on his seat?
Someone is not doing his job.
Somebody should be fired, because you're not doing your job. But probably the students think that their rights only end at protests. And there are representatives of these students at the federal government level, in the National Assembly and the Senate,
House
and even the state,
chair on all
even at local government level, even at councillors that represent a particular ward. That Gwandu community, for example, there is a councillor there. They should demand accountability of these people, because these people have money. Security vote is there, given to governors almost unlimited amount of money, and it trickles down the line up to the local governments, to councillors and all the rest. What are they using the money for? So the community should demand accountability of their leaders. What are you leading when the people, their lives are not secured? Their welfare is not adequately taken care of? Remember, we keep saying, because Section 14, subsection 2 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria says that the welfare and security of the people shall be the purpose of government, primary purpose of government, sole purpose of government. It means if the government is not providing security, it's not providing welfare, the government has failed woefully. And in this case that we're talking about, this is a failure of governance. And some people should resign, or some people should be fired from their jobs.
It's so sad, actually.
Really sad.
So sad.
Because how would
and
the
even on the plateau,
concentrate?
Prof. Even on the plateau.
Having this all across the country.
Because many victims, kidnapped victims, would always tell you that they were being threatened by the kidnappers. You dare don't tell anyone. And if you do, you're just wasting your time.
Absolutely.
You dare not.
My friend was kidnapped here on the plateau. When the kidnappers were negotiating with his employers and relations, he heard them discussing with them and telling them that the amount of money, we're asking for 5 million, you are talking of giving us 1 million. How much are we doing? How much are we going to give the authorities?
Who is the authority?
Who is the authority?
There's
they
some
said it in
HAUSA.
Hukuma. Who are the Hukuma they're talking about? That word is not defined. Could it be that some security forces are collaborating with them? Could it be that some leaders, people who are supposed to be our leaders, are collaborating with them?
We don't know.
We don't know. But certainly they're saying that they need to give money to somebody. And this is what is happening. These people are so confident that they can, where my friend was kidnapped from, but a few meters away was a security outpost manned by military and policemen. Not far away. In fact, he thought that they were going to come to their rescue because he thought they saw them when they were being kidnapped. He told me that he was trying to give a lead to the security personnel. He will remove an ID card, drop it on the floor, remove an ATM, drop it, remove handkerchief, drop it, remove a pen, drop it along the road, so that when they want to locate them, they can track them easily. But nobody came to their rescue for this. So something is happening that we are not fully aware of. There seems to be a sophisticated network between these criminals and people in the society. You know that in some communities, people even come out to defend these criminals and say that this person is from our community, is a son of the soil, you cannot touch him. When the police go to arrest the person, they will say, no, you cannot arrest our son. You know, they will refuse to release the criminal, and the police will have to go
representative back. Yesterday in the studio, he said something in his submission. He said, while trying to apprehend or make arrest, the community in most cases will just rise up and say, no, you don't have to take this person. This is someone whom after every investigation, yes, this one should be apprehended. And in the attempt to make arrest, the community will rise up and say, no, you don't have to take this person. Leave him with us. Severally, he said.
So this is a hydra-headed problem.
We are in for it, and we are the cause for it.
Yes. So we have people in the community who are involved. We have maybe some security forces, security personnel, because some of them have been arrested before, who are involved in these things. We have sometimes in some places, like in the Northwest, traditional rulers were even involved with kidnappers, protecting kidnappers and reaping the fruits of kidnapping operations, the ransom paid. Some of them will collect some millions from the kidnappers as whatever, you know, some form of gratification or bribe from these kidnappers. So it is a hydra-headed problem. And that's why we keep having these cases of kidnapping going on and on and on and on. And I tell you, except something radical is done, a complete overhaul of the security apparatus and system, and a reorientation of our communities to change the mentality of our people. Except we do some of these things, it will be very difficult to stop these cases of kidnapping in our communities.
We've taken a bit of a longer time than we should. Well, that's not a waste of time, because it's an issue to talk about.
You could be kidnapped tomorrow. I could be kidnapped. Any one of us could be kidnapped. So that's
even
why
as
we need to cry out.
Even as we're speaking, it's just possible with the way things are going. Someone might be, going through negotiation process in order to save his or her.
That's why we have to shout out. We need to cry out that something must be done about this kidnapping.
And I'm sure if our security are all out for this, they can handle it. Absolutely. I don't know why up till now. All right, maybe we'll just take this one as we gradually come to an end of it. This one is politics anyway. But everything is politics, Prof. It has a link. And so this one says the PDP, NNPP, five other parties form coalition. Now, instead of just jumping from one party to another, now let's come together. It's another form of it.
Medicine after death.
After that, well,
Medicine after death. Well,
there's another life
they are
probably.
planning for the life in 2027.
There's another life coming.
They are planning for 2027, I hope.
At least there will be some life.
2031, you know?
Yes.
Well, it's a coalition of 7 parties. And this comprises PDP is there. They have APM, they have YPP and the rest. Unfortunately, Labour Party has not yet joined them. But Zenith Labour Party is there as part of this coalition. They have made it clear that they are not merging yet. This is not a merger. It's just a coalition of people of like minds. They are coming together to say, let's form a common front against the All Progressives Congress. And as we form that common front, let's see if we can build some form of consensus. You know, the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar had muted this idea, talking about how to win elections against APC, that there is a need for them to have a coalition. And this is what they're beginning to do. But I don't really see them going far, except they really galvanize and work on their differences. They still have fundamental differences. You know, in these parties, some of them are still very ambitious, because NNPP is part of this coalition. Kwankwaso still wants to be the president of Nigeria.
And then PDP,
Atiku wants to be the president of Nigeria. You know, if Obi joins them later, which is likely to, he will also want to be the president. Now, if all of you want to be president, you're going to have problem in the coalition. You will need to discuss the terms of your coming together. What is the agenda? Is the agenda only to hold meetings and make noise? And they're not even making enough noise against the APC. I thought that by now, the opposition should have been coming hard on APC. I mean, if I was in the opposition, I have a lot of things to say against the present government. I'll be speaking every day. Look at those times when the APC was in the opposition. Look at the way they were making noise all over the place. Look at the way Lai Mohammed used to talk that time. And he would be talking every day again and again against PDP, until they brought down PDP and they took over power. But the current opposition, they're just quiet. I don't know what is their problem. I don't know why they're not differences. You know, because there are so many differences. I hope that's what they're working on. But they should be speaking against all the wrong policies of the ruling government, the current APC that is governing the country. There are so many things that they can talk about. Some of them should be forming shadow governments, so that we can have a feel of what it will be like if they're in power. But they are not doing it. It looks as if they have just given up. They just feel, you know, they cannot face APC anymore or something.
Yes.
But hopefully with this, they are coming together. Maybe we'll begin to hear some small noise, and they can begin to talk some more and really be an opposition party.
But you have said it, Prof. They have their differences, and you made it clear that it's fundamental. It means no one will want to give way for the other. For instance, the Labour for Peter Obi, would he be able to say, okay, yes, I'll be vice, and then anyone else can be president? Will Kwankwaso say that? Or is it Atiku you expect him to say that? So this is very difficult, and then I think that is the much we can take, if you don't mind. It's Friday, Prof. We'll be going on a long break. We'll be having Saturday and Sunday. And I'm sure you would not like something to say to our listener and viewer that may keep him or her from this long break, even as we'll be coming back on Monday.
Yeah. Well, I wish our viewers and listeners a wonderful weekend. For us in the University of Jos, today is a day of celebration. We're celebrating the Vice Chancellor, who has marked 2 years in office. So let me use this opportunity to wish Professor Tanko Isha a happy second year anniversary as the 10th substantive Vice Chancellor of the University of Jos Plateau State. Wishing him more years of service to the university and to the nation and to humanity. hoping that he will do even more. He has been able to achieve a lot during the last 2 years, in spite of the fact that we had a long strike of about 9-10 or so months during his tenure, in spite of the fact that we've had other crises across the nation and funding problems and all such. But he has done remarkably well in the last 2 years as the Vice Chancellor of the University of Jos Plateau State. So Professor Tanko Ishaya, this is wishing you a happy second year anniversary in office as our Vice Chancellor in the University of Jos. And to wish our new students who will be matriculated today, a happy stay on campus, hoping that there will be wonderful students and hardworking, diligent students as they study various courses in the University of Jos. And indeed, the good people of Plateau State and Nigeria, let's take some time to rest in this weekend. There are so many cases of sudden deaths now because people are not resting. Weekend is for relaxation. It's not to go and do extra work, but people use their weekends and walk and walk and do some more work. Please use the weekend. Relax a little bit so that your blood pressure can come down a bit, so that your mind, your brain can reboot, and function better. So I wish all of us a wonderful and a fantastic weekend.
Yes, of course, you've heard it all from Professor P.H. Bamayi. Just have for yourself some rest over the weekend. But, Prof will be there getting to look at issues as they trend within the weekend, so that by the time we come on Monday, we'll be doing an over-the-weekend review of Unity Train. And thank you so much for staying tuned. This is about time for us to go on a short break. We'll be coming back. I beg that you stay tuned. Thank you.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your
Unity? Unity TV.
Get ready to be entertained and inspired by the incredible stories around the globe. Don't miss out on the excitement. Hello at Work is an ultimate TV program that brings to you the interesting stories and